Can we just talk about how much we love food?
We do. I love food. I love junk food.
It's
so good. What's your like go-to guilty pleasure food?
Probably something that breaks me out. Lately, since Halloween, we've had like a bowl of extra candy, and I've been going like grabbing a piece every night.
Oh my
Taking
gosh.
it to the couch.
Have you noticed it
TV
affecting
show.
your skin at all?
You know what? Shockingly, no. But like everything takes so long to show up on the skin.
Yeah.
I normally get like a breakout, or 2 or 3 around my time of the month. So I haven't noticed any more than that, but I'm sure I will eventually.
You'll have to keep me updated on that. I'm so curious. Is that like a normal thing for you, or is it literally just because it's Halloween?
No, it's just because we like have it in the house. If I don't have it in the house, I don't want it. Like I don't go out of my way and like buy it at the grocery store. But if we have it in the house, honey, I am eating it.
Yeah. Did you have trick-or-treaters this year? Is that why you have so many? Like,
we
did you not have?
Yeah.
Wait, you have that much extra candy?
Yeah. I bought like over 200 pieces.
Oh my gosh.
And I got like the big candy bars because I wanted to be like that house,
Yeah.
But I only got like 60 of those.
Wow.
I was like, okay, maybe I'll have 60 trick-or-treaters. This was our first year in our new neighborhood. So I was like, I don't know how much I'll have. Like, let's buy 60 big bars. And they're like kind of expensive too. So I bought 60 big bars, and then I bought like 2 bags of small candy.
What's your favorite candy?
I feel like it depends on my mood.
I like Reese's. Reese's. How do you say Reese's? Do you like say Reese's or Reese's?
I feel like Reese's.
Reese's? I say Recess or Reese's. I don't know.
Reese's.
Reese's. Yeah.
I think out of the bag of candy that we have in our house, the Kit Kats went the fastest.
Ooh, I love Kit Kats.
Kit Kats
too.
slap.
Those are the best.
They slap.
I definitely can notice a huge difference in my skin when I'm eating super healthy and clean versus snacking. And for instance, like I feel like I get more so like texture, like non-inflamed acne versus like inflamed, but I can see it in my skin.
With my clients, I see more like whiteheads, especially like specifically on their forehead.
Yeah.
If they're eating really bad, especially like sugar. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a big impact on my skin because we haven't had the candy very long, but I guarantee if I continue doing that, like I would see it on my skin.
Yeah. How do you bring that up with your clients if you see that in their skin?
So I feel like, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I do this really, really well during the consultations. And this is like come with time that I've learned this, but I used to be like, okay, like what's your diet like? And then I feel like 85% of clients would be like, no, I eat pretty healthy. Like it's good. But it's like, that doesn't answer my question. Like, what is your diet like?
Yeah.
So I've rephrased my question and I say, what do you normally have for breakfast? And then I do lunch, and then I do dinner. And then if it's like, okay, they're still healthy, but over time of being an esthetician, you kind of can see it on the skin. Like they're eating something that doesn't work well in their body. And I'll be like, okay, do you snack? Do you have desserts?
Yeah.
Do you drink a lot of caffeine? And I'll ask filler questions on top of what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner? And I'll say, I know it's hard. You don't eat the same foods for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but like, just give me what you ate today, what you ate yesterday. And I feel like that broke the barrier for me to realize what's going on with my client's skin at home.
Yeah. I think that's such a good point because we don't know it's such like a basic answer. So like you really have to dive deep into the question of, okay, well, what is that you're eating? Like what could be triggering your skin? And I think it's really sensitive. Like it's a very sensitive topic for some people too, because you almost feel ashamed for what you're eating and you never want your clients to feel like that. I think that's something that I do is just making sure that they know that, we can get your skin clear, but maybe something that you're eating, like you said, isn't working well with your skin. So finding that pinpointing that exact like I see all the time, you know, that exact food or that supplement. I mean, you know, whey protein. I have a lot of clients that work out. Like it's such, and they'll be like, I'm doing everything in my power to get clear skin. I eat clean, because typically people who work out, they eat clean, but it's just something as simple as them taking that whey protein every single day that's breaking their skin out.
Or pre-workout.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think it's just like easing into it, like you said, and just kind of figuring out what's working well for someone's skin. Yeah. But because I think that like in our industry, there's a lot of pressure nowadays to that diet's like the biggest factor, and people almost feel ashamed, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel that way, but
I feel like that's a great point too, is like it's so heavily focused on diet, and we have to be so real and honest and like look at what we do and say, I'm an esthetician. I'm not a nutritionist. Yeah. At the end of the day, like I'm not licensed to tell you what to do with your diet. And also recognize that in this day and age, majority of clients that we're treating have struggled with an eating disorder. Yeah. And be so aware of that, and you know, be proactive in the way that you're talking about diet with your clients. And I never say, do not eat this. Never, ever, ever. And you will not catch me saying that. I don't tell my clients what to eat and what not to eat. I maybe suggest my clients reduce their, you know, diet of certain things, especially fast foods, greasy foods, oily foods. But I won't sit there and say, do not ever eat another milkshake in your entire life. Yeah. If my client gets happiness from drinking a freaking milkshake, drink a freaking milkshake. Don't do it every day. Yeah. But if you love milkshakes, like have a freaking milkshake. Yeah. Like,
and we're all human at the end of the day. I think that's something that, just because it's kind of like when you look at a celebrity or whoever and you have these expectations of people, it's the same thing in our shoes. Is we're estheticians, we're the leader, people look up to us, and so we're human too. I mean, I indulge in bad foods sometimes. We both just did. Yeah, we just had mac and cheese, guys, and we'll see you in our skin tomorrow. We'll keep you updated.
Delicious.
Yeah, it was so worth it. You know, like I mean,
every once in a while.
Yeah, and it's okay to have those moments. I mean, it's the same thing as picking your skin. I'm guilty of that too at times. Yeah. We're all human.
No one's perfect.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And so I mean, that's such a huge point, is like nobody's perfect. We can look at diet, we can look at, you know, what we're consuming, but on a regular basis, like I can still get somebody clear. I can still manage somebody's acne if they are eating certain foods. Now they'll realize when they eat certain foods and we're on the regimen that we're like, okay, when they come in for the next appointment, we'll be like, okay, well, what happened? What did you do that month? You know, I think in those moments, you'll learn to decipher what 100%. Are somebody's triggers versus telling somebody, okay, you're in my program, you're on these products, you can't eat this, this, and this. Like, it's so overwhelming, especially when you're dealing with acne. You don't want to overwhelm somebody as it is.
And I think knowledge is power. It's like, if you understand why your skin is breaking out in that moment, it's almost easier to cope with. If you understand, like, I know I have not been eating amazingly this past month because I've been indulging in a lot of candy since Halloween. And so when I'm breaking out, it's not like, oh my God, I'm doing everything right. Like, what is going on? I don't have that confusion. I know, okay, this is what happened. I need to send the candy home away with my boyfriend to the office.
Jace, my son, if you'd like.
Okay. Well, Jace, you were getting a bunch of candy.
I'm kidding.
No, I'll send it to him.
No, please don't.
But, you know, I need to get rid of that, and I need to focus less on sweets and more on veggies and fruit, and like a more balanced diet. And, you know, I probably haven't noticed a huge difference in my skin because I do eat fairly healthy, and I really don't know if one tiny piece of candy a day at the end of the day is really hurting my skin.
100%. So it's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
So I would say I want to talk about our biggest acne transformations to date. And I know you have a super famous one that I see all over the internet on Lear Clinical. I want to talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about triggers. So since we're talking about diet and all the things, what did you see in this specific transformation of your client?
Yeah, this kind of changed the way that I treat acne and the way that I understand acne. And I will say and tell you that this client did not change anything in his diet, anything in his lifestyle other than his skincare regimen.
Wow.
Took no supplements, did nothing other than just his skincare regimen every morning, every night, and saw me at first every 3 weeks, and then we pushed it every 4.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so what was the biggest, what would you say, so he came to you, what is the process of somebody booking an appointment with you?
Yeah. So for me, seeing someone like him, everyone is different. Everyone's skin is different. But seeing someone like him, we're like, okay, we need to get to the fastest results as possible because this is a pretty severe case of acne, and you know it's affecting his self-esteem. You know it's affecting his mental health. Let's get this guy results. So I saw his skin. I put him immediately on a full skincare regimen. He was in high school at the time. His mom bought the whole regimen. She was amazing. She was so supportive in this whole journey with him. And then they had him come in 2 weeks, and we did his first chemical peel. And then 3 weeks later, we did his next one. And I think it was 3 months into doing this, the majority of his inflammation disappeared. And I can put like updated pictures in this.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was so fast. And I will say some cases are just like that. Some cases just need good quality skincare products. But some cases need more. Some cases need diet changes. Some cases need lifestyle changes.
100%.
It's different for everyone.
Yeah, I've noticed that inflamed acne tends to, with the right products, clears a lot faster. So when you have non-inflamed acne, which I typically see a combination of both. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost, I mean, I feel like you get quick progress, quote unquote, quick progress, but everybody is so different with their skincare journey. And again, I feel like inflamed acne clears faster. That's just my experience. I carry Face Reality. So when I see strictly just inflamed acne, I can typically get them clear faster. With non-inflamed, what is your, like, do you see the same thing? Do you feel like non-inflamed is harder to clear?
I agree. Yeah. No, I think inflamed acne takes better to skincare products. I think non-inflamed acne, my theory is it has multiple different causes, which is why it's harder to clear, and you have to play a little bit more of like a detective. When it comes to inflamed acne, it's typically the same protocol, you know, icing. Sometimes you don't have to change anything in the diet to really see, especially a severe case like he was. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I saw your result and I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. So that was a series of home care products and then peels. How long, so is he just maintaining so once you get somebody clear, is it just maintaining their routine at home?
Yeah. For his case, it was a little tricky because he went away to college in Southern California. So he couldn't be there to maintain treatments. And we were basically just treating his pigmentation and scarring from that point. So he got on all the home care. He was staying on that. And then he was coming in for treatments when he could. And now he's fully in SoCal. Just recently graduated college. He's not really coming back anymore, but he's doing great. I check in with him frequently. And
that's incredible. So all of your acne transformations, I know I've asked you this before, but it's all with Lyra Clinical still to this day.
Yeah.
Just an update.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I use Face Reality, which have you tried? You've tried Face Reality.
I've tried a couple of their products. I've never used a full regimen from Face Reality. I've never used their more active products. Actually, recently trying out one of their more active products, and honestly, I really, really like it.
Yeah.
I personally think when you're treating acne, one of the main things to focus on is hydration.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a hot take, but I
agree.
Thank you. Yeah. I really, really feel like majority of estheticians, dermatologists, when treating acne, 5 years or past, they focus on just drying the skin out because yes, acne is caused by an overproduction of oil.
Yeah.
And yes, you want to control the oil, but just drying out the skin, it's actually going to cause more issues, and actually more oil to produce.
It's like your hair. It's like your scalp. If you notice that you wash your hair over and over and over again, or you're using too many products, you'll notice your hair gets greasy. I mean, I've had a lot of hairstylists talk to me about that. I can't explain science behind their profession, but I mean, it is like I've had personal experience of like overusing products and my hair overproduces oil.
I mean, it makes sense when you think about it from the skin perspective. Like if you over dry your skin is going to be like, oh my God, I'm so dry. I'm going to overproduce an oil to try and make up for the lack of hydration.
Exactly.
And then it's producing more oil. Your skin cell turnover isn't turning over as fast as it should. And then your pores are getting clogged, and that's turning into acne. Like it does make sense when you think about the science, but I think majority of people that have acne have oily skin. And their thought is, dry my skin out. Like 100%. This will fix the problem.
No, hydration is definitely key, and something that I do, and it is protocol with Face Reality, is to do the sandwich method. So have your, hyaluronic base before your acne med, for instance, which is benzoyl peroxide with Face Reality. And then you lock it in sometimes in occasion with a moisturizer if needed. But hydration is so important. I think that's something that's kind of old school of drying out the skin. We're trying to, I mean, it's all about that healthy skin barrier. So if your barrier is compromised or it's too dry, it's not going to take to products like we want it to. It's going to just kind of reverse effect, So, I mean, I see that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I see people all the time come in and maybe their acne is like better, quote unquote, but their skin barrier is compromised.
Oh my God. And it's like, I don't know. It's going to take so long to recover you.
And you can't do treatments on that skin.
No. And I don't want to touch it personally, especially, this is going to get controversial, but especially Accutane. I do not want to touch your skin. If you've been on Accutane within the last 6 months.
100%. I mean, it's just not smart. It's not ethical for us to work on skin that's compromised, because we could end up doing way more harm than good. We want the skin to heal. We want it to be in a good state before we do treatments. I mean, that's super important when we're dealing with acne, is we want healthy skin. And I think something that I know from my husband's experience too, he was actually on Accutane, and
I didn't know that.
He was on Accutane, and it was the only thing, like that was his last resort. And I wish that he would have known me, obviously, but he didn't. He was a teenager, and he still has like chronic, like dry eyes, dry lips. And the thing that felt best to him was his skin being dried out, which is crazy to me, because if your skin is, I would much rather you have hydrated skin and then us work on your acne. And I know it's really, really hard
it's so
in that
easy
moment
to treat someone with oily, like thick, healthy, but really acne prone skin.
Exactly.
It's so much easier. I think that my boyfriend as well was on Accutane, but he is from Europe, so I don't know the whole translations and everything. I think it was probably similar to Accutane. And we have the same problem, keeping him hydrated. I mean, it's so difficult. And the more hydrated you are, always tell my clients this, and I feel like this is a good relation, is I feel like the skin is like a sponge. And you think of a new sponge that's like soaked in water, and then you think of an old sponge that's all dried up. Like, what are you going to see the most divots in? Like, what is harder and easier to work with?
100%.
It's the new sponge that's hydrated.
100%. I mean, it's interesting that you say that your boyfriend was on Accutane as well. Do you feel like he has the same, like, I know he's in a different country, right? He was in a different country. Do you so you still see the same like chronic like dryness of his skin?
I don't think he was on like Accutane.
Okay.
I don't even know if they have it in his country. I think he was on something similar. He doesn't even know the name. I'm like, tell me more about this. He's like, that's all I know.
I know. It's kind of like, maybe it was so far away, like, behind that he's like, I don't even remember what it was.
No, he's like, I don't know. It just dried me up and cleared my skin. I'm like, well, that sounds like Accutane.
Yeah, so, 100%.
Yeah.
I just like am so intrigued by hearing other people's stories, because I'm like, oh wow, like that was just like Chris,
I know. And
And learning these things truly does help us in the treatment room, like hearing other people's stories and hearing what worked best for other people and what didn't. But like the common denominator, and this isn't to, disrespect anybody who has ever been on Accutane, but it's something that we constantly see in the treatment room, is that it's like a Band-Aid to the cause of the 100%, root. 100%. And so we're just here to...
And sometimes not even a Band-Aid. Yeah. Like it's not a cure. There's no cure. And for me personally, what I disclose to all of my clients is I witnessed one of my close friends in college get on Accutane and become very, very depressed.
Yeah.
And that was so hard for me to watch. And like that could have been, many factors of different things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she was on this medication, and that is a side effect of it.
100%.
And for me, when someone is going through acne and struggling with acne, you're already dealing with those side effects, because that's a side effect from acne. Is it's so hard on your self-esteem and your mental health. I've had clients that lay on my treatment bed and they're like, I'm not leaving my house because of this.
Yeah.
And that devastates me. That is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And then I hear that this is a side effect of this medication that is so heavily recommended.
Yep.
It makes me not want to go near it with a 6-inch pole.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it's so sad because and not every dermatologist is like this. And I really I'm not trying to speak for every dermatologist, but I do see it enough to where I've had clients come in the door and they have 3 pimples and somebody prescribes them Accutane. Yeah. And it almost seems like it's just a quick fix. I mean, it is a quick fix, but the long-term side effects, if you are a person, like you said, is struggling with, their self-esteem. I mean, I've had clients come in and cry on my table before because and I'm sure you have too, of them not feeling good about themselves. And you are in this state of depression because you look in the mirror every single day and you don't feel good. So like, that's what's so uplifting about our jobs is being amazing. That person to just guide that in it's like the emotional aspect of it, of guiding our clients and making them feel good. I can't tell you how many times my clients come in and they are just like, I just want clear, beautiful skin. Or like, they'll honestly compare themselves to me sometimes. And I'm like, no, like you are your own person. You are so beautiful. You have your own identity. And like, they just want clear skin. And I'm like guiding them every step of the way. And just like that word of encouragement of like making your clients feel good, like goes such a long way. Yeah. And when you clear your client from start to finish, like they look back at you and like just the emotional reward of that feeling is like, they look back at you and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for you. And it just feels so good to help people and make them feel good. Like you can see amazing. The emotional transformation in them.
Yeah. No, it's really, really incredible. Like I have had so many people open up about their self-esteem and like how I've helped them. And it is a really, really amazing feeling. And I tell everyone who asks me like, oh, do you like your job? I'm like, what other job allows you to sit next to someone who's struggling emotionally, mentally, and lift them up?
Yeah.
Every single day we get to do that. That is so incredible. Like, please name another job that does that. I don't know.
Exactly. And being like that safe space for people is so incredible. And just being able to be like a listening ear. We are a form of therapist, in my opinion.
100%.
Like we are therapists and human, like we're skin therapists. Yeah, we're skin therapists. And it's just so incredible to be able to watch people's journeys and watch and guide them along the way. It's so rewarding. And this is the best job ever. I mean, it takes really time to understand, the root cause of acne, or just even like learning how to cure, or not cure, but how to treat and manage acne is such a crazy thing, and something that you have to it does take time. Yeah. But when you do get your hands on somebody and like transform their skin, it's truly so rewarding.
And I feel like what makes it better for me personally, and I'm sure like you can relate, is having a similar experience. Like I've struggled with cystic acne since, ironically, I became a licensed esthetician. The second I got my license, a few months later, I started breaking out with cystic acne. And before that, I had perfect skin.
Yeah.
And so I went on the journey along with my clients on how to clear your skin, how to manage this. And it really affected my self-esteem. It really made me feel horrible about myself. And there's been so many nights I've cried over my skin. I felt like shit over my skin. That's a very, very normal feeling and a normal reaction. And I feel like the benefit of that and the reason why I was put through that was to be able to relate to my clients.
100%.
And I think anyone can really relate to clients in that way. Even if you didn't necessarily go through acne, I guarantee every single person has an insecurity about how they look, how their skin looks, you know, how their overall image looks.
Yeah.
Every single one.
I can relate in a different way. I actually thought, I wanted to become a makeup artist when I went into esthetician school, and I just constantly, I always knew that I wanted to help people, but I constantly was trying to do people's makeup. I could see that people were trying to cover up their skin, and I just saw like, so I just saw people struggling with their skin. So that motivated me to get into skincare and aesthetics. And I fell in love with like ingredients and all the treatments that we can do to like, you know, help people feel good in their skin. So I just I've always, again, wanted to help people and restore people's confidence in their skin. So for me, it wasn't necessarily a personal experience with acne, but helping people and guiding them. And I also found like a hole in my practice where I was like, wow, people are struggling with hormonal acne. There are adult women struggling with hormonal acne and just all forms of acne. So I did my research. I was like, I need to figure this out. And I went for it, and I literally studied in and out, and I, you know, got my face reality certificate. And working hands-on obviously helps a ton, but just restoring people's confidence in their skin and knowing what ingredients, you know, work well with certain skin types is something that takes time and experience. But I just think it's such a interesting perspective of somebody who has been through emotional journey with their acne versus somebody who got into it because they want to help people, you know. That I haven't experienced it, but of course I experienced in high school, but nothing to extreme of where I hit a pinpoint of, I remember like my husband who was taking Accutane.
No, I remember in high school too, like kids would make fun of people who had acne. And I remember I never participated in that, of course, but I so vividly remember like being like, God, that sucks. Like that really, really sucks. There's nothing that you can do to cover it. There's nothing you can do.
And makeup makes it worse.
Makeup makes it so worse. I have a client that recently came in, and you know, she doesn't want to go to school because of it. It's so sad. I think that's not really talked about a lot as an esthetician, is like, I'll take a client and their story relates so much to me, or like I feel so empathetic towards it, and I'm like, what can I do? But we have no training for like emotional
support.
I'm not a therapist. I can always recommend people to go to therapy. I can always recommend people to get extra support, but we do take on a lot, you know?
And I think sometimes people just want to be heard. I think that's something that's really important as an esthetician, is I've learned along the way is people like to talk about themselves, and people, not in a negative way, but people just want to talk. People want to be heard, you know?
And I think we can give them that outlet, which I think is so amazing. Like a client can lay down and just tell me her whole life story. I don't know you. I don't know anyone in your life. I'm not going to go tell your best friend Veronica what you just said about her and her husband. Like, I don't know you.
It's a safe space.
It's not going to get back to them. You can tell me anything and everything that's going on in your life. I know so many secrets about my clients. I'm like, I should not know this, but I do. And I kind of love it. I'm like, give me the
stories that I hear on a regular basis.
They're crazy.
I should not know. Sometimes I want to plug my ears.
I go home with a story for my partner every single day.
Yes.
Every day. I'm like, So
here's the tea. Yes. No, I love that our job is an outlet to just connect with other people. And I think that for skincare, it's obviously not a one size fits all, but
Never.
what are your top 2 favorite skincare ingredients for acne?
I feel like for me, it's a balance of hydration and like active exfoliating ingredients.
Okay.
So for me personally, every client that I do a chemical peel on, I don't think I can narrow it down to ingredients.
You can just say whatever you want.
Okay, I'm going to do that. But for me, anyone who wants to get a chemical peel, they have to be on a cleanser, moisturizer, retinol, and SPF.
Okay.
So kind of like a balance, like they have to be properly cleansing. They have to be properly hydrating. They have to be exfoliating, and they have to be protecting their skin in one way or another. And then that's not including like the filler products that I'll put them on to help even more. For acne, I would say my favorite products are salicylic and benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide for more inflamed cystic acne, salicylic for less inflamed, but like oil control specifically. I love those 2 products. I've been exploring more of like mandelic acid as well lately, and I really like that as well. But I would say my go-tos are salicylic and benzoyl. But that doesn't mean that I'm putting a client on specifically just salicylic or benzoyl peroxide. It's like comforted with a bunch of hydration too.
Yeah, I agree. I think that hydration, like we talked about before, is very, very important. I don't put people on exfoliating exfoliating products and just send them home. It's like you have to have some form of hydration in your routine to keep the skin healthy.
A whole regimen.
Yes.
Like you cannot send a client home with this salicylic acne serum is going to cure your skin. No,
100%.
No, it's not.
Yeah. If I'm treating somebody with acne, I make sure that they go home with a full regimen and making sure, like you said, that they have hydrating products. But 2 of my favorite, which I think is pretty common for Face Reality, is mandelic and benzoyl peroxide. Mandelic is probably my favorite skincare ingredient because it's super gentle on the skin. It's a very gentle form of exfoliation, but it does great. And something specifically with Face Reality is they have different percentages. So let's say somebody starts with a 5%, I can bump them up all the way to 11 to 15%, which I never do 15%, but I do 11% for stubborn acne for somebody maybe pigmentation, things like that have acclimated their skin to a higher percentage. It's not like I go gung-ho to the 11%. It's all about building people's skin tolerance, but also making sure that before we even start any actives that they have healthy skin, that they have a good barrier.
That's so important. Like I will see so many cases of people who have gone to dermatologist and gotten these topical treatments and been using this really harsh retinol. And I'm like, I don't want to touch your skin with any actives for at least a month. I'll send them home on just hydration. If I see them in a month and they're still not balanced, which is typical because a month is not a lot of time, I'll give them another month and then another month. And I check in with them consistently and I add actives when it's good and ready to add actives.
100. Yeah.
You can't add actives too soon.
And I think that's something that when somebody comes to you and it's a hard process. I will say when somebody comes to you, they are ready to go. They want their skin clear and it is such a hard process going through it. But when you stick to it and your clients understand and it's mutual, it's such a beautiful outcome in the end. And I love being that for people. It's such a hard thing because people go to dermatologists or they go, to another esthetician and it's like, oh, well, I just want results within a month. And it's not like that.
And I do think, unfortunately, as estheticians, people come to us as last resort. Like, I've tried this. Now I'm trying an esthetician. And I am giving you X amount of time to figure this out, or I'm going to go on Accutane or do this or do that. And it's so much pressure on us to be like, okay, well, I can't actually transform your skin in 2 months.
100%.
Your skin is actually going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And it's so hard for clients to wrap their head around that because acne takes almost 3 months to fully form underneath the skin surface.
Yeah.
And so someone comes in, they're struggling with really severe acne. They have acne forming underneath the skin. Mm-hmm. You need at least 3 months for the products to start working.
Yeah.
Let alone more time than that to actually see results.
Yeah.
Because their skin can purge, get a lot worse, and then start clearing up.
Yeah. And it's such a interesting process because I definitely agree with you. Sometimes we are the last resort for people because it happens all the time. And we're like, okay, well, luckily you have people that, in my opinion, estheticians, for if you have a good esthetician, we genuinely care. We are there every step of the way. And I think that's what makes us different as estheticians is we are there every step of the way.
We're personally
for me,
involved.
I will literally text my clients off of my work number and just say, hey, I'm here every step of the way. You can reach out to me any day that you need to because I understand that it's an emotional process. If you're having a bad day, please message me. Please let me know. How can we, adjust your routine? And I think that's what, for me is what really brings me joy is making sure that it is always a personable experience. And that's why I only take on like a certain amount of clients at a time because I want to give my clients that are going through my program the full attention that they deserve. Otherwise, it's a money grab and it's overwhelming. And I don't want, of course, we're business owners. We're always going to be overwhelmed. But I want my clients to have that full, not attention, but I want them to be able to feel like they can reach out to me and that I'm not, that they're not a burden.
You're not just another number on our books. Like I can't tell you how many appointments I've gone into, before I have my hairstylist now, I would go to get my hair done and they would be like, oh, like, who are you again? Like, what do you do for work? And it's like, I'm happy to explain the situation again, but like I have seen you like 5+ times.
Can you remember one fact about me?
Can you remember anything? And it's like with my clients, I try so hard and I really don't know how I do it. But I had a client recently and I was like, oh my God, you guys got a new couch. Like, how do you like your couch? And she was like, that was like half a year ago. How do you remember that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I remembered it. I genuinely don't. Like I didn't put a note in her file or anything. It was just like your interaction with me. You're like the connection here is so memorable to me because I'm not overloading my plate. Yeah. I'm not seeing 10 clients a day. I'm not seeing, 1,000 clients a month. Yeah. And I don't want to.
Yeah. And I think that's all about, everybody's so different with their practice. Some people may be like, I just want to get people in and out, but majority of like estheticians, in my opinion, and I love that we're on the same page about that is because like we just care about people and we care about the connection that we foster with our clients. And it's really important to mold that relationship because I always tell people, if you are thinking about it, like as a client perspective it's essentially like building a friendship. It's not like you see a client and you're just immediately going to mesh. Let's say that you have somebody like, of course you're always, for me, it's like, I keep it professional, you know, we may not like, they feel comfortable and they feel trusted their first appointment, but you're building a relationship each appointment. And each appointment, I learn more about my clients and you hear that they're going on a vacation the next month and I ask them how their vacation was the next month, or they're texting me on their vacation and they're saying, my skin has never felt better. Yes, and that's the best feeling. It really is truly that connection that you're building with your clients. And it's just so special. Truly. That's what I love about being an esthetician.
No, you're totally right. It is such a special feeling. I also love to like see my clients through the different periods of their life. You know, I've seen clients be single and then they meet their partner and then they get engaged and then they get married and then they have a baby and then they move to their first home. And it's, I know. It is so amazing to see. And you know what? We're always the first ones who know.
Oh yeah. I had 2 clients within the past 2 months. that they said that you're the first person that I told that I was pregnant.
I know. It's so fun.
Yes.
It's
and they're
so
like, I actually
special.
can't come into my appointment because I'm throwing up. Like,
Yeah, I'm like, that's okay, girl.
I know,
I'm so
it's okay.
happy for you.
You can reschedule. I understand. You've been to every single appointment.
No, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Those are the ones we understand.
Yeah. No, it's so fun. It's such a fun experience. And no, you're totally right. And I also think an important note is it makes it more fun for us when we can connect to the clients, when you do open up, when it is more like a friendship. Like, I have a really enjoyable time when I take a client and it's just like two girlfriends catching up. Yeah. And that's how the majority of my clients are. I'm like, girl, spill it to me. What your man do now? Like, tell me all the tea. And they do. And it's like, I love what I do. It's so fun.
It feels so good. I mean, and you can be very selective too with your clients. I think it's okay to, which I don't personally do. I don't like cancel anybody out of being my client. But I think you can really tell which clients you really relate to and that you connect with. And I think that clients can feel that too. I mean, sometimes I have clients and I'm like, why are you still booking with me? We aren't like connecting like we should be, you know?
There isn't that like spark. And I think that that's okay. And honestly, if you don't feel the spark with me, then I feel like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get results if you don't believe in me. If you don't relate to me, if you don't connect with me. I think it's an emotional journey as well. And I have to be able to be there for you and be supportive of you. And if we don't connect, like, please, if you think that you can find someone else that you connect with someone else.
I mean, my best results are when people believe in me and they trust in me and they say, do whatever you need to do. I will follow whatever you need. Those 100%. Are my best transformations.
100%.
My best before and afters, people value me and they understand and they get it. And it is an emotional process through
100%.
I'm not taking that away. They literally text me and say, like, I had a cyst on my face. What is this? And we're like, I'm telling them it's okay. This is what we need to be doing instead, So I think it's just all about the way that you are wording things to your clients. But, it is such a emotional process. But
no, I think you're totally right. The second a client comes in and they're like, well, how long have you been doing this? Have you ever treated someone? They start questioning me. I'm like, immediately, this isn't going to work. If you come in and you already don't believe in me.
Oh yeah. You're like, why did you book your appointment?
Also that, but like, I understand there's a healthy level of questioning. Like, okay, where did you get certified? Like, how long have you been doing this? Have you ever treated someone like me? Yeah, 100%.
But I also feel like you should be doing your research before you book with somebody.
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? Like, I understand asking a few questions while you're in there. And I think that you should do your due diligence and ask and make sure that your esthetician is certified and licensed in everything that she claims to be. But if you're coming in and you're like, why do you want me to do this? Why do you want me to do that? Yeah. And it's like, you can sense the vibe immediately if they don't believe in you. Yeah. And then if you don't believe in me from the start, I'm not going to sit here and like force you. Yeah. Especially if you're coming in at countless times and you're like, why this?
It's almost
why
like
that?
You're setting yourself up for failure in that sense because you're not giving it a fair shot. You're just coming into it with a negative mindset. And not to be dramatic, but the more that you are negative and stressful with your skin, the more that you're going to stress yourself out, and your skin does reflect with stress.
100%. I tell all my clients this, if I start to see it, I say, if you look and stare at your skin and you hyperfixate over every single thing, your skin will never clear. Yeah. 100% will never clear. If you sit in front of the mirror and you're like, oh, but this spot and this spot, no one's perfect. Yeah. No one has perfect skin. I don't have perfect skin. I'm sure you don't have perfect skin. I'm sure your husband, after taking Accutane, doesn't have perfect skin. No. It's never going to be perfect. And I will literally suggest, not enforce, suggest my clients restrict mirror time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 100. Yeah, I completely agree. Those mirrors are so dangerous. And especially what are your thoughts on pimple patches?
I don't like them. I mean, I think that they have a purpose in the skincare world, but I think it's kind of similar to like makeup. I mean, you're just covering something up. You're not allowing the skin to breathe and heal on its own. It's meant to do that. But I think
you're kind of forcing it to stop what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. You're not letting it go through the healing cycle. And I think that the only time I allow my clients to do it, or, you know, say that it's okay from me, is if they have a severe picking problem and they won't not pick at their skin unless they have a pimple patch on. And then I'm like, okay, wear your pimple patch if that's reducing your picking, because that's worse than the pimple patch.
I agree.
But
I used to, it's funny because I used to recommend people pimple patches in the beginning. I would say, if you have breakout and you feel like you can't resist popping your pimples, just put a pimple patch on it, or even put sulfur spot treatment. But now I just strictly say ice your skin and then put sulfur spot treatment on it.
Yeah. Icing is, I will always say, the best way to treat a breakout.
Yeah.
Ice your skin. Do it every single day, morning and night, 5 minutes a day.
It's like icing a boo-boo.
Yeah.
It's inflammation.
Yeah.
Boo-boo. If you...
Am I your son?
I'm in kid
You got to
mom
ice
mode.
your boo-boo.
But if you are, you're icing your skin, it's inflammation. So you're just calming down the inflammation. And that's the best free skincare tool that you could have. So, I mean, there's so many free resources out there that we don't
There's so many free ones. And I tell my clients every time they leave, every new client, I'm like, you can do this, 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 and this for free. And you can, get on all these products for a couple $100s to also enhance those results. But there's a ton of free things that you can be doing. I drink spearmint tea every single day. I ice my face as soon as I have a breakout. Yeah. I change my pillowcases, change my washcloths. I mean, I could go on and on about the list of free things that you can be doing.
Those are some good tips, girlfriend. That was some fire tips all in a row. That was a lot of free advice. But I would say for me personally, to wrap this up, I will never if I'm clearing a client's skin, I will never let you leave without purchasing a full regimen. And that's not for me. That's for you.
Yeah.
That's for you to get your full results, for you to start your skincare journey. Something that I personally do is making sure that you are on especially with acne, is making sure whatever your skin needs, you're on that regimen for at least 2 to 4 weeks before we start treatment. So that's my biggest thing. Takeaway for my acne clients. Is there anything that you would say that you have?
I think to add on to that, I think adding in, a full skincare regimen, and you're thinking, a couple $100s at least to get everyone started. And you think of acne, you think of all of the many things that come with acne. You have clogged pores, you have oily skin, you have pigmentation, you have scarring, you have acne, you have dry skin, you have all of these different skin conditions. So with my acne clients specifically, the regimen is always the most expensive regimen that I put together. And that's not because I'm trying to make a quick buck off of you. If I was, that's not what I do, why I do what I do. But if I could sell you a $5 serum that cleared your skin, I wouldn't a heartbeat. But that's not going to do it. You need all of these steps. But I will be the first person to say, as soon as we get your acne under control, we'll take this product out. As soon as we get your pigment under control, we take this product out. And you should make that clear to your clients.
Yeah. Too. Communication is key with your clients. 100%. I think that's something every appointment you should be communicating with your clients.
And honesty.
Yeah. And making sure that you're on the same page. I think that sometimes we're afraid. I mean, in the beginning, I was afraid. Now I'm like, I tell it how it is. And I say, this is the product that we need. And just being direct and having that confidence will go all the way with your clients, because your clients will feel if you're not confident, then why are they going to buy from you?
Confidence and knowledge, you
and can't educating them.
Yes. You can't recommend a product if you don't know anything about it, and if you don't have personal experience with it. You need to put yourself on the products that you're selling.
Yeah, and I think once I flipped it, because I was trying so hard to I need to sell, I need to make X amount of money or whatever it is, because we need to make money to survive. I'm like, why aren't people buying? I'm just trying to help them with their skin. And the biggest thing that changed for me was when I just literally, it came so naturally when I understood everything and I just was educating. I literally just educated my clients when they
this
came
is
in
what
for
this product does.
Yeah. And just being like,
it'll help your skin.
Oh, and like repeating back their problems that they're seeing in their skin. Like if they say that they're struggling with oil in their skin, I'm repeating that same exact thing back to them. And I'm saying, oh, you're struggling with oily skin. Let's get you on this regimen. And they like immediately are so ready to invest in that product. And again, confidence and education will go such a long way in your journey.
And I think also allowing your client to say what their concerns are.
Yeah.
If you don't give them an opportunity to say, hey, I think I'm oily. Even if you look at their skin and you don't see oil, they might experience oil at home.
Yeah.
You're not with them every single second.
Exactly.
So letting them talk.
Yeah. I think letting them sometimes pinpoint their concerns makes them feel better as well.
Yeah.
Because
they feel heard.
Yeah. They feel
which
heard.
Which is so important.
It's definitely so important for your clients to feel heard. But
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed hearing us chat today. But as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.